This is called the meeting in order, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, welcome to the June meeting of the Greencastle School Board. First thing on the agenda is adjustments to the agenda, Mr. Gibbon.
Yes, we actually have two items this month. The first of which is adding our return to in-person instruction plan for public comment. This is the final time we have to do that to satisfy the federal government. Obviously, we don't have any updates. We're fully in person and back to normal.
And that would be under 8D.
Actually, that one's going to be 8E because there's no action on that. Just for comment. And then 8D will be meal prices for school year 23-24. That will be an action item. And the supporting information for that is underneath your agenda.
Okay, can I get a motion to make adjustments to the agenda?
I will make that motion.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item, public comments regarding agenda items. Okay, hearing none. Next item is recognitions.
Yep. So as is customary, we have a few folks that retired from us this past school year, and so just want to make mention of those employees. The first, Evan Miller, 22 years in education, 20 at GCSE, 2 in other districts. Amy Robinson, 15 years total. Amy Thomas, 4 years at GSE, 26 other, for a total of 30. And so just like to express my thanks and appreciation to those retiring staff members.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, if it's all right with you, ask if we could maybe do it during this point in time to allow Mr. Greenlee to kind of provide an end-of-the-year update for our athletic program, so that way he can enjoy the rest of his evening.
All right, you may stand.
We don't care. I mean, we can hear you.
Yeah, make yourself comfortable.
All right, hello. First of all, if you have questions, ask me. I don't have a whole lot prepared. I didn't know really what to expect other than kind of giving an overview of the state of the athletic department. That rain.
Yeah.
Sure is.
More rain. The one thing that everybody's going through right now is construction. Working together and figuring out what we're doing, when we're doing it. It's difficult to stay up with, but it's a team effort. And I can't remember. I think the turf was 20.
It was 21
Remember,
because he came to us in 2020 and we started the project in 2021 and it was ready by October of 2020.
Yeah, it was really, thank you for that.
So this is the second year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finishing up the second.
Right. Yes. Starting with that, it's been a lot of athletic renovations. We're excited about that. We can't wait. Everybody can't wait. It's something to work through. That's been, tougher times, but by the same token, everybody knows that it's going to be one of those. But as far as this past year, I just wrote some things down. I don't think I forgot anybody about some accomplishments. Boys soccer team continues to win high level sectional champs, conference champs this year. The girls soccer were conference champs. They got beat 1-0 by Cascade sectional final over there. Girls track had 3 regional qualifiers. The boys track had 8 to 10. I was at that event. There was a lot of them. It seemed like they had a lot of them. Both relays, some individual kids. So, and Charlie Menzel was injured, I believe. Sectional, I think. So we have a lot of participants in our track program. Boys cross country had 2 boys in the semi-state. Cross-country, by the way, is changing its format moving forward. Instead of 4 weeks, it will be only 3 weeks. It will be a sectional, regional, and state. So skipping the semi-state round. So
Well, there's a lot of things doing that right now. And
yeah.
Cause,
I mean,
or they're at least like the regionals, they're shrinking them. They're not quite as.
yeah, they just rearranged it. It'll make it tough to get state, because in the regionals it'll be a broader area. And I think in sectionals, since there are more sectionals, but remember, then there'll be less, like 2 kids advance, so the regionals have 3, stuff like that. It's making it tougher. But I think they just, the state figured out, or thought that they're kind of being repetitive at the regional and semi-state level. There wasn't a lot of movement. So that's why they did that. Then, of course, girls basketball team, sectional, regional, conference, county, 23 wins. We have 2 of the seniors going on college sports. The third girl, I don't think Stephanie's playing college sports, moving on. So I don't think I left anybody out as far as the teams are concerned for championships. Just a lot going on. A lot of kids are participating. I think one thing that I have noticed in the last 2 years is our kids are stronger. Our kids are faster. And I think it's Andrew Corrado with the weight program. I think it's really paying off, especially for those kids who are doing it, participating. I noticed a difference from year 1 to year 2 when I was coaching girls basketball players that they were a lot stronger in the second year. I think that makes a big difference for us. I think we are catching up in that area. Not that we've been behind, but I think it's getting progressively better. I think that's a big thing for us. As you know, they go into the summer too, so it's pretty much year round. The kid wants to get bigger and stronger and faster, they have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward this year, just a lot of kids participating. There's been, you probably heard this talk of the conference situation. They have questions for me on that. Next year will not change regardless. Next year will not change regardless for the sectional and regional alignment. It's all a 2-year rotation, but moving forward to sectionals, it's going to change with a percentage basis instead of an enrollment basis. We are in, I think we'll be Class 2 again, but I think that with our sophomore class is big, our freshmen coming in, I think are big. As far as numbers, it might push us right there. You get the 50th percentile, you go 51%, you're in 3A. We're going to be right there on the border.
I guess 50 to 51% basis, percent of what?
Well, they're divided into 4. They're keeping 4 classes. They wanted 5. But some of the big schools, Castle, who are complaining the most in Evansville, that's where the commissioner's from. He got a lot of noise in his ear. I guess the executive committee, I don't think, voted for his proposal. But his proposal was 5 classes, the top class would be the mega class with thousands of kids. There weren't that many of them. Maybe 30. I don't know.
The largest 20% of schools.
But now it's going to be instead of a number.
Okay, just percentage
Percentage of schools.
Yes. Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we got 20%.
They still rank us.
Right.
30% are in 1A. 25% are in 2A. 25% are in 3A. And 20% are in 4A.
Okay, so you could essentially have a team in 3A and 4A and have 2 students difference, based on how they break into those groups. Yeah.
So that's interesting. The conference situation, as you probably know, with the Montgomery County Schools and Western Boone and Frankfurt moving out of the Sagamore Conference, leaving Tri-West, Danville, and Lebanon behind. They have, and North Putnam has joined that conference, so right now it's a 16 conference. They have expressed interest with Greencastle and Cascade. That's the 2 schools they want. I did go to a meeting at the end of the school year with those those 5 athletic directors, Cascade, 6 athletic directors in Cascade was there, just for informational purposes, just to listen to them, no commitment. You know, this is what we're doing. Are you interested? I don't know. I'm here for information. So it's kind of, they said in August they would like to kind of know what they're going to do. I said, well, maybe we'll know, maybe we won't. My biggest question to them was, if we don't say yes right away, is there an opportunity later? They don't know that answer. You know, I don't know what they're thinking, but my personal opinion is, let them start with the 16 conference, see how that thing's working out. If it's going well, maybe, you know, be interested. I know some of our coaches are interested for travel purposes, mainly, you know, competition. So I don't know. That's kind of a Chad Rogers and I have talked a little bit. Yeah, there's still a long way to go to figure out where that's going to go. So that's kind of the overall picture of it.
How did concessions go?
Yeah.
I thought, well, the big test will be in the fall, and what I wanted football games, and we've talked about this with them, but I haven't sat down. I'll sit down if you like. I would like them in the football concession stand, the junior class concession stand, and I want the truck, their little trailer on the visitor side. Because you lose a lot of sales. People don't want to walk over. And I went through that in Yankee Valley. We ended up putting the trailer parking over there, and it was a big boom in sales. Now, can they staff all that? I don't know. Well, they're going to have to if they want to do that. But
Now, did they do anything in the spring or just basketball?
no, they didn't. Softball and baseball.
Did they? And how did that go? I mean, it seems like there's usually not quite enough people at those games to
Well,
support a lot like that.
I don't know financially, but I know that parents didn't have to work. They were happy. Because softball parents, it doesn't face the softball field, it faces the baseball field. So we can never get softball parents to work. They want to watch their kids, and I don't blame them.
Right.
But I would say this, they were dependable. They were there. They would call us if there was rain or situation we might not have a game. This year there wasn't a lot of rain, so we played most of them. But I think the people enjoy the difference in being able to buy whatever they sell.
Yeah, I heard lots of comments and they were all good.
Yeah, I thought it was good, and like I said, there's planning to do for the fall. They did the winter. They've done the spring. The fall was the toughest. Fall's the toughest with events every night. It seems like football's big on Fridays and things like that. And basketball's big too with the crowds also. Seems like there's so many basketball games, all games, compared to football. Football, you got 4 or 5. Basketball, you got 10. You got Coastal County, you got Philadelphia, Coastal Section, you got 15. Invariably.
The only complaint I ever heard was that it just took a while, but that must mean it's good enough. People are standing in line waiting for it. So.
Well, it did, but we tried to fix that a couple of times. One was have both of them go into basketball. The junior concessions lady retired in the middle of the year, and so she didn't want to do the concessions. So we started using both once we got organized. And my thought too is if you're waiting on a Coke popcorn, you shouldn't have to wait on the back roll or the full court. We discussed that several times. It got better, but I think some of that too is making sure you have enough people. I know when I did it, in the fall we had 15 people in the concession stand because it's so busy. So I don't know, how that's going to go with their staff. But we'll figure it out. I was pleased with it.
Good.
From your perspective, you were happy.
Oh yeah, I was happy. Didn't have to order anything. Got a check. I can't remember the check we got for the winter. $5,000. I don't remember. It was pretty good for not having to deal with.
And how did that compare to like the year before when you did have to do it?
I don't really remember. I didn't pay much.
You weren't doing both.
Because a lot of times before we were dishing money out for the sports teams to do it. If you're making $300 for your sports team, you get parents and kids, and that kind of went. So we didn't get much. So this is kind of, for me, for the athletics, more money.
Yep. Well, good. Yeah.
Good job.
I would like to say, and Doug's been very helpful with information. Maybe the next board meeting we can talk about whether or not we want to consider finding ways to get students in without having to pay. I think it's just a discussion we should have before we start thinking about selling passes for the year. So,
Yeah, because that'll start in July, probably people start.
yeah, so I think
Well, we won't sell it. We'll wait.
Well, here's what I will say about that. We've talked about this before, but I was on the board when students did get in for free, and I believe Don Plunkett changed that because of especially football games and some basketball games. Free babysitting. You drop your kids off. You may or may not come back and get them till too late. And then you had to have people there to try to get the kids off the field, out of Mackinac, but not just turn 8-year-old kids loose. So it became a real big hassle, and then that really dropped off. The kids up some pain.
yeah, I think we can make it to where like high school kids can come for free and middle school kids can get it free, but they have to be there with a parent or guardian of some sort. But I don't know what it used to be like back in Don's days as far as how many people are in the stands, but I'd sure like to see more students in the stands, especially during basketball. So, just something for us to think about.
Well, the one thing I always hear, the more I hear more about the schools that allow grandparents, above a certain age, and I hear more of that talk than I do. What do my kids have to pay to get in?
I know that the school I came from, which I was there for 31 years, they did that. Over 31 years, there's a lot of people that get older. By the end of it, I don't think we're going to have my problem. Everybody getting free. Not really. It's really, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I know, I think North Country does. I hear that too. But, so
Big
it's
Monroe.
I'm not really for that again.
No, yeah. I know you're
It's
not always.
like, just amazing. And then, the first day they were in California, they run into your office, get that. I'm getting my free pass.
People you never seen in the game, never seen them in a game before.
Is this the older people or the kids?
The older people.
Okay.
Grandparents, whatever.
Yeah.
There was certainly 62, I think.
You're going to offend a lot of people too. How old are you?
Yeah, exactly. So I inherited that when I was at, and I came here and didn't have that.
I would still be paying.
I can still be you have new football coaches, new basketball coaches. You feeling pretty good about all that?
I think so. Time will tell on that. I think that, there's things going on this summer. And, seems like for the most part, things are going okay. Once you work with people day to day, 5 times a day, every day of the week, you get to know what they're all about. As far as how they deal with kids and how they organize and how they deal with staff, their willingness to conform if necessary, things like that. So it's all a learning curve for them and for me too. But overall, yeah, I think so. I think that the day of when there's a head coach opening, 30 people applying, having 15 solid candidates is over. Back in mine when I started out in coaching, it was 10 people for a middle school job. You had to interview for it, and you were lucky to get it. Now, middle school job, we're begging people sometimes, right? It's just changed so much with just how it is. And it's not just here. It's everywhere. But so you're fortunate to get the people you get sometimes and hope to mold them and work with them and make them better.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can talk all night.
And you're welcome to hang around, but You don't have to at the same
All right,
time.
well, I can leave. But thank you for your time, too. I enjoyed, obviously, being a part of it. I know there's a lot more of this room than that, but it's a lot going on. I appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Doug.
See ya.
Next item is an approval request for the consent agenda, which consists of the meeting minutes of the regular meeting of May 22nd, 2023, the allowance of claims, the financial report, personnel reports, part 1 and 2. They're on the website and the door. Mrs. Rowe?
Yes. Okay, per usual, we've got a couple of payrolls in the month of May. First payroll is May 12th, $465,210.23. And of course, we have a FICA, federal, and retirement. Total on that payroll was $132,983.56. And then the second regular payroll in May was dated May 26th for a total payroll of $466.47.99. And then the retirement and federal and FICA on that one was $133,692.75. And then we've got a list of prepays, and as you can see, the list was a little extensive this time. We had a lot of add-ons this time. We had some partial payments for equipment that we were able to pay out of CARES money. We had the ECA treasurer was out at TZ, so we had to kind of help them cover some bases while their ECA treasurer was out. But was there any questions about any of the prepays for May 2023? No? Okay. So total prepays then for the month of May was $800,692.94. And then you've got a list of claims dated today, June 26th. We've got some renewals, subscription renewals. We had food services in here. Let's see, what other big ones did we have? We had the DefX training for the Fab Lab at the high school. So there was a few big ticket items this month on regular claims, but total claims was $411,233.60. Did anyone have any questions about any of the claims for June? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on then to the fund report. The balance in education fund the end of May 2023 was $3,211,736.92. And then balance in operations was $326,060.47. If you want to head to the very last page, which is number 5, total in all funds $7,278,458.13. Then next in your packet, you're going to see the depository statement and balance with fund to bank. You can see that we are in balance our banks to fund. Did anyone have any questions about that? Okay. Then we've got the fund transfer report. Again, most of your big ticket items here are just going to be the transfers that I need to do from one bank to the next. And then, of course, you've got education to ops. We had unreimbursed textbook transfer that we were able to make for this last month. And then, of course, school lunch. And then, let's see here. Last in our packet, we've got expenditures for bond 2021 and bond 2022. Balance forward through April 30th, 2023, our total expenditures was $18,806,690.28. And then we've got a list of expenditures for May of 2023. So our total to the end of May 2023 expenditures out of bond 2021 is $20,866,242.66. And then bond 2022, we've got total expenditures listed there at the top through April of 2023 was $1,731,328.09. We've got 3 expenditures listed there for total expenditures the end of May 2023 of $2,843,600.79. And that's all I have. I'd like to submit for approval pending any questions.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next is reports, and we have an assistant superintendent.
Yeah, so just briefly, obviously Mrs. McPherson isn't here, but I wanted to just point out that she did provide you an update on 3 items in your board packet. First being the Chattanooga Fab Institute, where a team of teachers once again went down there and experienced what it's like to work in a fab lab, and they're going to continue that work back here in the classrooms at the middle school, and obviously getting our high school fab lab off and running. So it was a really great experience. There'll be some additional training with the consultants here. She provided an update about our assessments. So the big takeaway there is we are shifting away from NWEA to utilize the iReady assessment. We feel like it's going to better prepare or provide us better data and better prepare us for the assessments in Indiana. And then the final item is we're restructuring our Title I program. And so years past, we've served only K-2. And just with the literacy initiative and iRead and just some of the challenges of TZ, we're going to, and just, since the reading foundations continue on in 3rd grade, we're going to have a staff member there part-time. So we're going to offer some title services in 3rd grade at TZ as well, just to kind of help fill the gaps for some of our readers that are still learning how to read. And hopefully that will, again, help lift those readers up and take them to where they need to be. So those were 3 items that she had for her assistant superintendent's report. And then I just have a couple very brief ones. Obviously, the biggest is working to fill any open positions that we have. We don't have a ton of vacancies at the moment, but as the summer goes on, you always lose someone unexpectedly and have to fill a spot. So working with the principals to fill out any remaining vacancies that we have, and obviously that extends beyond just teaching positions. That's all of the classified positions too. And then we'll be opening online registration on July 10th for families to register for the 23-24 school year. So just a couple of items that we have there.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Mhm.
Next item on the agenda is old business. We have no old business. So that brings us to new business. First is an approval request for a copier lease with Braden Business Services.
Yep. So we're just finishing up a lease with Rico on all of our copiers throughout the district, and they're at the end of life, and it's time to replace those. Corey spent a lot of time meeting with interested bidders, and he has brought forth Braden Business Systems and Kyocera copiers. They were the least expensive and also offered quality machines. And so we'd like to move forward with a new 4-year, it's 4 years, 5-year lease with Braden with an option for a $1 buyout at the end. And we are told that they actually have equipment in hand, whereas some of the other bidders did not. And so it would be my recommendation that the board approve this agreement.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for your work on that, Court.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know that's a very tedious process to dig through these types of contracts. So, okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Approve.
I will second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is to declare items of no value.
Yep. So we just have some miscellaneous items throughout the district. They're under the threshold, but we'd like to declare them of no value, and we'd like to work on accepting some sealed bids or to sell some of the equipment. Basically, things that come to mind. We have some old lathes and table saws and just miscellaneous tools from our wood shop that are no longer needed, and we want to dispose of those appropriately. And then we have just some miscellaneous furniture as well. And so I just wanted to bring that forward, and so that we can either accept sealed bids, we can donate it. Certainly, we've gotten rid of some because it's been damaged, and we disposed of it.
So if you do like a sealed bid on some stuff like this, do you have to advertise that? How do you advertise it?
Yeah, I would. We would if we're going to accept sealed bids, we're going to take the time to advertise in the paper, put a list on our website,
Right.
so anyone interested in that equipment, can submit interest. And
Sure.
I don't expect that it'll bring a lot of money.
No.
But
Sure.
if
Also,
somebody can get use of it, then we want it to be used.
I would think traditionally, the school is moving it on. It's been used.
Yeah.
Right, but you just want to make sure everyone has an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Okay, can I get a motion to declare these items no value? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is an approval request to approve some donations. First being Jack Dalton, the Greencastle High School Champions Together in the amount of $1,500. And the second being Snap Mobile in the or to the Greencastle High School track in the amount of $3,136.40. What's the matter?
Nothing.
Mobile.
You did great on that.
I went back and I was like, yeah.
I'm just glad you didn't say 3 million.
I know.
Well, I was going to say that,
There was a lot of common sense
$3,136.40,
Well, now I see that.
0, tenths, and hundreds.
I just
Yeah,
noticed
you were
that.
really expecting me to mess up the mobile part.
Thank you for the donations.
Yes.
And I make a motion we accept.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is an approval request for meal prices for the 2023-2024 school year.
Yep. So we've worked with Chartwells and worked using the analysis that the state provides, and we're recommending essentially a 10-cent increase in the cost of meals. So elementary price next year would be $3.10 versus $3 that it was this year for elementary students. Yes. And it was $3.10 this year for secondary students, and the recommendation is $3.20 for secondary students next year. And so it would be my recommendation that the board approve those updated meal prices.
Considering the price of food, a 10-cent increase is pretty.
Yeah. And there was also an a la carte pricing sheet submitted for your approval as well. So we would be approving all three of those things.
I make the motion we accept the increases in the lunch and the a la carte.
I'll second.
Susan, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Last thing on the agenda is a public to publicize or to read the return to.
Yeah, we just have to
person
provide an update
provide
on
an
the
update.
return to in-person instruction plan and allow public comment. Obviously, there are no changes being proposed that we've been in person. We're gonna continue. We just have to do that to meet the federal guidelines, and this will be the final time we have to do that.
Anybody got anything?
Okay. Last item is other business. Do we have any other business?
We got the tour of the high school today before the meeting. And it's coming along very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It's really gonna be great. Thanks for spirit.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome.
Looks better every time we go. Okay, final thing on the agenda is adjournment. Can I get a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Careful going home.